Emory University held graduation ceremonies this morning for the largest class in the school's history. 8 colleges held separate ceremonies where they handed out diplomas this morning. 1,600 graduates picked up their pieces of paper that they've worked so hard to earn. A big day for a lot of students and their families. The second oldest student to graduate from Emory's medical school this morning was a 36-year-old Air Force officer. His story goes back to an era many people in this country would like to forget, Vietnam. Sharon McNish tells us this man's experience was remembered this morning as he waited to receive a diploma.
October 3rd, 1966. Newsweek magazine carries a photograph of an American pilot being captured by the North Vietnamese. His plane had been shot down over Hanoi. The photograph was blown up on the front page of the Atlanta Constitution. That was 12 years ago. Today, Air Force Officer Tom McNish was waiting to receive a doctor's degree in medicine in Emory's Glenn Memorial Chapel. It was a moment he had thought about during the 6.5 years he spent as a prisoner of war. His decision to be a doctor came in that prison. His thoughts as he went for his diploma were of the day he was shot down on a bombing mission.
Thinking about how much has happened since almost 12 years ago when I was shot down. The things that went through my mind when I ejected from the airplane, were kind of a flashback of what had happened up till then, and now so much is, that moment changed my life just completely. Gave me a chance to start over in a way, which a lot of folks don't get. It was 6 years of, what I could think of as wasted time, I guess, but when you look at what it's produced and where I am now, that never would have happened without it. I guess that everything has a purpose.
Tom McNish was 30 years old when he was released from prison in North Vietnam. Since that time, he's married, and he and his wife have 3 children.
I don't know, it's just an overwhelming joy. I guess there are probably 3 great days in my life. One was getting home, the second one was marrying my wife, and the third was this. They all fit in unexplainable type of just overwhelming joy.
Now that medical school is over, Tom McNish will take his family to San Antonio, where he will do his residency. Sharon McNish, Action News.
We're grateful for the commitment and dedication of this university to excellence in all areas of learning. Most especially, we're grateful for the School of Medicine. Its dedication
truly as a commencement. This is only a stopping point. It is not a graduation. It is a commitment. And we hope that we have instilled in you at least those attitudes. A very perilous mission. They scaled the Great Wall. They also fought off the pirates in Hong Kong Harbor. And they come back, but they have not told me yet whether we should abandon.
It is
I'm privileged and favored to announce the honors and award for Emory University School of Medicine, passed in 1978. Medicine. The primary criterion for medical student membership is scholastic achievement, although integrity, leadership, and compassion are important attributes. I would like to next give the names of student orders to hold the pause until the end of this series. Edward Marston Farrar III. Raymond Clement Harris. Thomas Andrew Grillo. David Harvey Jefferson. Claude Mitchell Luke. Graham James Jarvis Gay. Stuart Seth Light. Donald Raymond Clement Harris.
Will the oath depart? Alexander. Dr. Andrea Lynn Allen. Dr. Robert Henry Alvarado Jr. Dr. Scott Hazen Carlton. Dr. John Harrison Culberson Jr. Dr. Donald G. Detweiler. Dr. David Waltke Apollo. Dr. Robin McKenzie. Dr. Mike. Dr. Arthur Charles Santorum II. Dr. John Henry Sutton Rudolph. Dr. Peyton Duke Burton. Charles Richard Underwood. In absentia, Dr. Lance David Atkinson, Dr. Carlton Clinton Rao, Dr. John, graduating with the degree Matthew Alaska. Eileen Macaroni Land. Dr. David King Kwong Shaw. Administration, faculty of School of Medicine, graduates, families, guests, and friends. That the patient needs and what he expects. It is inescapable in this age to begin with anything other than science. Certainly, as at no other time in history, medicine is today deeply rooted in science.
I'm glad they stayed right here. Who did the job? That was Mr. D, wasn't it?
Tell me, what were you thinking about when you were standing in line there?
After I'd been in prison for about 3 years was when I first started thinking of going to medicine. I got to thinking what I wanted to do if I couldn't fly when I came home. Up until then, I'd been considering nothing but flying. And I thought over all the professions that I knew of and what I might be able to do, and decided that if I couldn't fly when I came home, I wanted to go into medicine. And the more I thought about it, the more it became a decision that no matter what, if possible, I was going to go into medicine. I got home and started asking immediately how I can do it, if I can do it, and here I am. It's just a miracle come true.
The moment you were handed that diploma, what were you thinking of?
How do I get off this stage without falling? Ow.
What are your thoughts on a day like this, of the time in Nam, of Vietnam? How does it
you
feel?
mean without getting too political?
Yeah, without getting too...
Well, it's one of those things that it's hard to find something good in, but I'm sure that of the good things that came out of that experience, maybe the education of our country and not getting involved in the war unless we're willing to commit ourselves to win it. The other good things that came of it perhaps was those of us who came home as changed and better people for the experience.
And on a day like today, when the country's not at war and everything else, it's got to be, the things seem a lot different to you now than they do during the, of course you were in Vietnam, but the country as a whole right now.
Oh, I think that I don't doubt for a second, I never doubted for a second while I was in prison that America is the greatest country in the world, and it was that gave me the hope that I was going to get home, the knowledge that I was going to get home sooner or later. And it's still, I haven't changed at all. I still think it's the greatest country in the world, even for its problems. We at least have the ability to look at our problems from two sides, and Lord knows it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful country. It's home.
Almost
it was
6 years worth.
Yes, and
now that he's finished finish medical school, Tom McNish will take his family to San Antonio, where he will do his residency. Sharon McClama, Action News. One more take.
Dr. Tom McNish is the chief in residence in family practice in Bexar County Hospital District, elected to that post just last Friday. March is a special month for Dr. McNish. 7 years ago, on March the 4th, he was released by the North Vietnamese after being held prisoner of war for 6 years. When he returned home, the Air Force sent him to medical school. After completing his residency, he expects to be assigned to Brooks Air Force Base. Looking back on his prisoner of war experience, he told me he tries to think of the positive side, realizing that without his ordeal, he may not be doing what he is doing today, working as a physician. But there are regrets.
I don't regret what I did. I regret that it wasn't utilized in a better way so that we could have got something out of our effort in Vietnam. And of course, every once in a while, I see Jane Fonda's name on a billboard, and I think back to hearing, her making tapes in Vietnam broadcast to our soldiers, encouraging them to kill their officers. And
Dr. McNish was shot down in September of 1966 while flying an F-105 over North Vietnam. The North Vietnamese provided Newsweek magazine with these pictures. They call them the capture of then First Lieutenant Tom McNish. He said this picture was set up 3 days after his actual capture. While a prisoner of war in Hanoi, he decided to become a physician. He felt it would be challenging and would be of service to others. Paul Schaefer, News Center 4.